Hello again, it's your friendly neighborhood host, JT Wheatley, back for another episode of the History Comics Podcast. This time, another edition to classics, and we're going to be dealing with, continuing with the previous one, in which we get to the adaptation of X-Men God Loves, Man Kills, with the excellent 2003 film X2, X-Men United, directed by Bryan Singer. This is, of course, the sequel to the surprise hit of the first X-Men adaptation, and Bryan Singer this time was allowed to give him more money, time to develop the film, and he made a really excellent film that truly explored the themes of bigotry that the X-Men goes up against, along with some great action. And this is actually a very solid adaptation of the original plot of X-Men God Loves, Man Kills. Now, they did take away the religious theme to it, but it's now Colonel Stryker, who is the main villain associated with the U.S. military, but he still has the same basic plot where he's trying to use Professor X to kill off all the mutants, and as the main framing plot device. But there's also some great sequences as well. There's especially the opening sequence in which a brainwashed Nightcrawler is sent to kill the president. It's a brilliant opening scene that really shows off his powers and the visual effects of his teleportation ability. And Nightcrawler is especially well played by Alan Cummings, who really does a great job of conveying his religious conviction on top of being just a really nice guy and just a cool character, beautiful visual effects and makeup effects on his character. And as far as dealing with the bigotry and the metaphor that the X-Men have to deal with, there's a great scene where Bobby Drake, Iceman, has to go to his parents' house and reveal that he's a mutant. And it's pretty much a coming out scene, which is very well done. And just a great film in general. A lot of great action. You get Hugh Jackman once again still great as Wolverine. He gets to do a PG-13 version of Berserker Rage when the school gets invaded. Still very cool. A lot of cool little cameos. You see a glimpse of Siren, Colossus. Just a lot of fun. And this really showed that the X-Men franchise was on solid footing. And for the most part, when Fox had the X franchise, they did it was up and down, but they really great films like this. And this is where you could really see, this is one of the films that really showed that comic book films were coming into its own. It was a year after the Spider-Man movie came out in 2002. And of course, a few years later, the MCU would launch and really set the new standard in the genre. So yeah, great film. Kind of underrated now because it's been overlooked by other films, but go back and watch the old X2, X-Men United, because that is a true classic.
More positive than a New Day pancake. More fun than a super kick party. It's the wrestling podcast from the host, who is the hammer swinging, burrito eating, well, you know the rest, of Thunder Talk. Sexy Thor! It's the Ring of Thunder, found in the Thunderverse and among the great podcasts of the ESO network.
Now is November 30th, 2023. Time for the favorite comic of the week. X-Men Blue Origins, #1, by Cy Spurrier and Wilton Santos, which is a tie-in to the Uncanny Spider-Man series, in which Nightcrawler is going around disguised as Spider-Man, while Orchis is pretty much taking over the world, going after all the mutants. And in this one, we find out what happened to his mother Mystique, how she escaped the massacre at the Hellfire Gala, and what she's been up to. And when he reunites with her, she ends up spilling his true origin about her and his parentage. And it's basically a retcon that does fit into his original storyline. This is a great story by Spurrier that really deepens the relationship between Nightcrawler and his mother Mystique, and also her lover Irene, and it shows us who all they are to each other. And it's also, by the way, it's a callback to what Chris Claremont originally planned, but this is back in the 80s when lesbian relationships weren't exactly more commonplace, and we didn't want to show it off. But now we're in the 21st century, we're now finally fully explore this. And plus the fact this explores just what mutant Mystique, who's basically a shapeshifter, can really do with her powers, and it does fit into how Nightcrawler came to be, and a very cool twist. It's all matched by William Santos' art, which is very nicely detailed, great storytelling, not too flashy because this is really more about the story content. The art doesn't really shine, but it does a great job in general. And this is a pretty pivotal issue because it's a retconning of one of the great two of the X-Men's great characters, Nightcrawler and Mystique, and their relationship. And even Rogue is factored in too because her origin is hinted as well with Destiny Irene being factored in as well. So yeah, this is a great pivotal issue and a great read in general. And it really redefines some great characters in the X-Men universe. So definitely check it out. And with that, we're now in the Christmas season because in my house, Christmas starts from Black Friday to New Year's Eve. So definitely hoping you're all enjoying the holiday season and checking out some nice Christmas classics. Of course, the Batman Embassy has a great Christmas classic, Christmas with the Joker, Holiday Night, some specials, and all sorts of stuff like that. And of course, Batman Returns and Iron Man 3. I've already watched Iron Man 3. Still a fun movie, a great Christmas film as well. But be checking those out. But until then, I hope while you're enjoying the classic, while you're enjoying the holidays, go out and enjoy yourself a good comic book. If you can, if you want to rewatch the old X2 X-Men United, because that is a true classic.